Hi again, everyone, and welcome to your next fact of the day. Woohoo! What are we going to be learning about today? Well, we're going to be learning about California, which will be very, very cool. I'm very lucky I've been there twice, so I'm looking forward to this one. Here's the Earth, just over 9,000 miles away. So if you were to travel up 9,000 miles, um, this is what the Earth would look like. Although there'd be clouds. I've turned off the clouds here. Um, anyway, let's see. Do you know where California is? Well, first of all, we need to locate us. Right here. We need to travel across this big ocean. What's this ocean here called? Atlantic Ocean. Well done. We need to keep going. And well done if you said California was in the United States of America. Here it is. Hopefully the borders will help this time. So above is Canada, and below is Mexico, and here is the United States of America. And that is where you will find California. So very well done if you said that. Let me just zoom in a bit. There he is, the United States. And California is a state. The clue's in the name, the United States of America. How many states are there in America? I wonder if you can remember. It's 50. Well done. And here they are. Here's another map for you. 50 states, 50 stars on the United States flag. And here, across here, is California. So right on the coastline of the Pacific Ocean. On this side is the Atlantic, and on this side is the Pacific. California, you might have an image in your head. The rich and famous and Hollywood, lovely beaches, warm weather, very warm weather. It's a very, very popular place to go to visit. Really, really popular. Very, very famous California. So, there's going to be a lot of information in this, but we'll just make it simple for you. Fact of the day, and we'll just call it the state's nickname now. All the states have a nickname for some reason, and California's nickname is the Golden State. So that could be your fact of the day. California is nicknamed the Golden State. Now, don't turn off. Now you have your fact of the day. Stay with me because we're going to learn some cool stuff. Um, you might remember talking about it in class, why it's called the Golden State. And that's because even not that long ago, even, 150 odd years ago, maybe even less, somebody discovered gold there. And suddenly everybody rushed over to try and find gold for themselves and make their fortune. And it was called the Gold Rush because everyone rushed to try and find the gold. Here's some pictures. So it wasn't even that long ago that there are pictures. Cameras haven't been around for that long. So yep, you would go to water and try and sort of sieve out the gold, if you like. Here's some gold down here. And do you remember the hottest place in the world is called Death Valley, and I believe its name came from people actually trying to get over to California um, as part of the gold rush. Obviously, it wasn't called Death Valley then, otherwise, you might have avoided it. Shall we go through Death Valley? No, oh, I think we'll avoid that. But they didn't know it at the time, and unfortunately, a lot of people did die because it was so hot. And there's hardly any water there, so yeah, you wouldn't last long. So, California, I've got a very cool map here. Um, this is just highlighting the state of California, which is very, very cool. And here, hopefully you can see it, is Death Valley, right on the edge. So that's where Death Valley is. Let's have a look at what else we can learn about California. Well, let's have a look at some of the cities, shall we? Some very famous cities. One is right down here, Los Angeles. You might have heard of that. Los Angeles, otherwise known as LA. So LA. And let's have a look. Here's a picture of LA. Very, very, very famous city. LA. This is right in the center of town. It's massive. I can't even describe how big it is. I've been there. I've been there once, and it was just unbelievably big. And that is where you'll find Hollywood. I'm sure you've all heard of Hollywood. You might think of the rich and famous just nearby. You've got massive houses of where all these celebrities, your film stars, your music stars, so many of them live in Hollywood. You can actually get bus tours to drive around and see all their massive houses. And it's here that's probably some of your favorite films have been made, because not far from Hollywood, you've got Universal Studios and other places where they film and make a lot of your favorite films. So if you want to wanted to become an actor or an actress, you would probably have to go to Hollywood, and that is the main place to go and record films and stuff. So that is very cool. So that's a bit of LA. I would love to talk more about these places, but I'm afraid the video will be far too long. You don't want to be listening to my voice for that long. So that's LA down here. Very, very famous, where you'll get Hollywood. That's where you'll find Hollywood. Very, very cool. Let's move up the coastline. Notice how these cities, there's San Diego down here as well. These cities are all on the coastline. This one up here is San Francisco. Again, I've been very lucky to be able to have visited that place as well. And I'd like to go back to Google Earth here, and we're going to zoom in. Hopefully it'll be in my search history here. Yep. Let's go right in to one of the most famous things in San Francisco, and that is the Golden Gate Bridge. You might be expecting to see a golden bridge, but it's not, I'm afraid. That would be cool. It's sort of this red kind of orange color. So let me just zoom out a bit and change the angle so you can see. I'll zoom out a tad, and there we go. So behind you, behind the Golden Gate Bridge here, is the city of San Francisco, another very famous city. Very, very famous. Songs have been written about San Francisco. Again, I've been very lucky to have visited this place and actually cycled across this bridge, and it was a beautiful day. It was so, so nice. And actually, if we just go around, I'll just show you. Around here, there's just some quite nice countryside, very kind of dry climate here. And I cycled all the way to the top of that hill and got some very, very, very nice views. Let me just go back around the other way. What else do we have? Oh, right ahead there. Let's go over here across the water to this tiny little island. Very, very famous little island. Do you know what that is called? You might have heard of it. It's called Alcatraz. Alcatraz, also called the Rock. And it used to be a prison. It used to be a prison for the most ruthless and notorious violent criminals, especially the ones that tried to escape prison on land. They would be sent here, and almost impossible to escape. I'm not sure there were many successful attempts. Many tried, but of course you're on a wee island, and the water runs quite fast around here, so you'd just be swept out to sea. So when you're on the Rock, that's where you're staying. You're not going to escape. Very, very famous. It's not a prison anymore. You can go and visit it and take a tour, but it used to be, and it is very, very famous. So that's very cool. Let's go back to the map, and I'll just show you. Oh, I'm gonna have to skip through here again. Sorry about that. And there's a picture of San Francisco in the city itself. Very, very nice city. And there's a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge and Alcatraz as well. The prison guards and the family, they all lived on the island as well. Yep, you definitely weren't going to escape there. No chance. Excellent stuff. Right, just a couple of more things. So we've done LA, we've done San Francisco, we've done Death Valley. There's another place I'll just bring your attention to is Sacramento. That's another city. That's actually the capital city of California. Each state has their own capital city. And the kind of states can sort of have their own rules, their own laws, up to a certain point. But they all have to kind of answer to Washington D.C. That's who that's where the main kind of decisions are made. But each state has its own capital, and Sacramento is the capital city of California. Another place I want to show you is a very famous place called Yosemite. Very, very famous place. And you'll notice if you look at this map, this green bit up here means it's very flat. So there's some kind of mountains here at the coast. It's a bit more mountainous up here, but not too much. So if you came in, sailed down here, this is very flat, very, very flat. But it soon rises up really, really high into what's called the Sierra Nevada Mountains. So it's a little mountain range in California. And it's very, very beautiful. And in that mountain range, you will find Yosemite National Park. And here it is, and it is it's famous just really for being so beautiful. And it really is beautiful. I hired a car and drove there, and yeah, it was just stunning, absolutely stunning place to visit. Unfortunately, it had been really dry, so I didn't see this lovely waterfall. It was all dried up, but it was still amazing. And there is an amazing mountain. You'll see it back here, but I got a better shot of it. It's called Half Dome, and it looks like somebody's taken a giant knife, cut down it, and taken half of it away. Just a big sheer cliff face. Very, very famous mountain. That some people travel from all over the world to come and climb up. There's a steel ladder actually that's been put up at the back here, so you can climb up it. You would still need to rope up though. So that is Half Dome. And there's another famous one called El Capitan. This is El Capitan, or El Cap as it's known. And this photo doesn't really show how massive it is. Just a massive cliff, one of the toughest climbs in the world. So tough that quite often it'll take you more than one day. So you're thinking, how on earth, if it takes more than one day, even a few days, how does that work? You're climbing and then you just climb, you just stop? What do you do? Well, you camp on it. You put your rope, you attach your ropes to the rock, a couple of big bolts into the rock, attach your rope, set out your sort of sleeping mat here, and have a nice comfortable sleep. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meters up. Terrifying. I'm not sure I would do that, or if I could do that. Obviously you're roped in, so if you roll over at night, you're not going to fall out. You're always hooked on. These people are all hooked on at all times to the rope. And another cool picture, this is almost like a tent. Because it's that hard and it's that high, it takes that long to go up. So you need to camp right on the cliff face. I thought you might like that one. Very, very cool. I think it was a couple of years ago, somebody actually climbed it solo without any ropes. Was just people thought it was impossible, but this guy managed it. I think it was Alex Honnold or something his name was. There was a TV program about it, and it was incredible. So that's El Cap. And just near Yosemite National Park, you'll find this tree, the biggest tree in the world. Do you remember what that tree is called? General Sherman. Well done if you said that. So General Sherman is in California, in the Sierra Nevada mountains, in a massive forest. Do you remember what type of tree General Sherman is? They're the biggest trees in the world, obviously. They're giant. giant redwoods. Well done, if you said giant redwoods. So excellent stuff. And just to give you an idea of how big General Sherman is, there's a couple of people. Don't know who they are. I just got this off the internet. But there's a couple of people just at the bottom, and you can just see how insanely big General Sherman is. What a size of a tree. Just unbelievable. And that is, just put that one back actually because it's quite nice. That is California. So nicknamed the Golden State. We've looked at LA with Hollywood, San Francisco with Alcatraz, the prison, and the Golden Gate Bridge. Sacramento is the capital city of California. We've gone up to the Sierra Nevada mountains and looked at Yosemite, beautiful national park, just lovely. Bit of Death Valley, and General Sherman's, I think he's round about here somewhere. So there you go, that is California for you. There's so much more to learn and to know, but I'd be talking all day. So you can go off and find out yourself. Find out any of these facts of the days we're doing. Feel free to go and find out more, because that's the whole joy of learning. Okay, guys, well, that's been fun. I've really enjoyed that one. And there's a last shot of Alcatraz before I sign off. And we'll see you later. Bye.